Hi, guys, and welcome to the Dead by Tomorrow podcast. My name is Daniel Winter, and my co-host is Andrew Monroe. In each episode, Andrew and I will explore topics that you should think about before you die. We encourage you to remember that some tomorrow will be your last, so each day could be your final chance to really live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We've got an update for you on what is probably one of the best times of the year, summer. The summer games. We are halfway through our little competition we've been having. If you listen to the last episode, like we've been talking about all this year, if you haven't listened to we'll call it the prime episode related to the challenge, probably will help, but hey, we'll see if you're one of those people that hasn't. Maybe you'll enjoy this. So we're halfway through competing, at least Daniel and I, against each other with a couple friends, and it is, spoiler alert, tied up right now. So let's jump into it. Daniel, how was your trip? I know y'all had push-ups on the trip by leaps and bounds, I think, compared to what everybody else did for push-ups. But how's the challenge going? How was the trip? How's the summer started off?
Summer started off well. It's nice and hot in Dallas. Most of the week, it'll be over 100, which I'm kind of cool with. So the trip you're referring to is I just got back from Glacier National Park up in Montana, and it was, I think the average temp was probably in the high 50s, low 60s, which I honestly did not love, but it was beautiful. The company was good. So it was a really good trip. We got some push-ups in, Brett and I did. So we got some scenic footage to go with our push-up montage video, just like any good 80s movie would have. We kind of made a little bit of a training montage. But the challenge has been going well. It's been really fun. As the person who sort of laid out what we would do each week, I kind of regret not making week 2 steps instead of week 1, since we did a lot of hiking in Montana, and it was honestly kind of tough to, at the end of the day, be like, okay, we're gonna do some push-ups, or in some cases in the middle of the day. So my 2 max push-ups I did while on the trip. One of them was, we were doing a somewhat steep hike, and Hillary, who is 20 weeks pregnant, was like, I'm not climbing up these steps anymore. And Brett and Angela powered their way up the top. So we were just kind of hanging out, waiting for them to make their way back down. I was like, this would be a good chance to get in some push-ups. Brett is like killing the climb at the moment, so I got to do some fitness. So that was one push-up set attempt, and then the last one was it was after our final hike of the trip, and Hillary, again being 20 weeks pregnant, was understandably taking a lot of breaks, and it was a pretty tough hike. It was actually the worst mosquito infested hike I've ever been on. And so as we're going, like, I start to hear thunder coming up, and I was like, okay, Hillary, I know you don't like to be carried, but can you agree to, every time you want to stop and take a break, you let me princess carry you instead of you taking a break, and I'll princess carry you until I need to put you down, and then you can walk again. So
what is a princess carry? Are you talking about like front loaded arms?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure we're all on the same page. There wasn't a cool way to pick up women I didn't know about.
It is a cool way. Much more effective than the sack of potatoes at the piggyback. I mean, it's a lot more exhausting, but it's a lot more comfortable for the lady. So we did that, and then at the end of that day, thinking about doing push-ups was the last thing that I wanted to do, but it was the last day to attempt it, so I did. Got my max.
You got some good numbers too. 63, right?
63.
Oh, kicked my butt. So for anybody that hasn't dug into the Google sheet that Daniel did some magic with, like, I thought I was making some cool journals for us, and then Daniel just went ham on the Summer Games one and blew it out of the water. But so far, to update you, we had a step challenge week 1. Team Hush, yours truly, and my compatriots, Brett and Colton, lost. unfortunately, despite some very strong feelings that we should have won from my end, but it's how it goes. So we lost the step challenge to the Team Thunderclap, which is Daniel and Jason and Jonathan. But we came back on the push-up contest. So despite Daniel racking up some impressively high numbers, we were able to eke out a win.
Oh, y'all
Possibly due to
eke out.
doping.
Y'all crushed it. Like the step challenge, that one was fairly close, largely to because Andrew is, very stubborn and was the captain that week and got just tons of steps. But y'all won like person to person matchup. It's as far as like who led our team. Like if we matched them up numbers wise, y'all swept it across the board. Brett got more than me. You got more than Jason, and Colton got more than Jonathan. You should pat yourself on the back because in terms of that like matchup, you had the best differential because Brett and I were within 3 of each other. Colton and Jonathan were within 1, but you kind of dominated Jason. So
Well, that's not Jason.
I
I
hope he
should be
hears this
really good at
before.
push-ups, honestly. Like,
I hope he hears this before the pull up week so that he can come back and kick your butt.
well, that will probably happen. My pull-up. That's what I was going to say. Was like we've hit the 2 challenges that I was going to do well in. It goes downhill for me real hard after this. So we're in the middle of our running challenge, which I haven't even gotten to get my baseline officially for this week yet because I have just been a wimp, I guess. And you're a scary man. So we got the run this week and then pull-ups next week. And speaking of Jason, I know he's going to smoke probably everyone on our team by himself with the run, along with you. So if we even come close to you guys this week, I will be impressed. Pull-ups, I'm holding out hope. Mostly that Brett is just going to smoke everybody so bad that we'll be okay. So, like, if you want to take it easy, Daniel, and let Brett get a nice running head start, that would be great.
No, it's going to come down to the rest of the team. I think I can.
Are y'all matched up evenly?
He may end up with a few more reps than me, kind of like the push-ups. We'll see, but
I am not above doping
shocked.
Colton again with too much pre-workout.
Yeah,
that is how we really won the push-ups was before Colton and I went to go get our final record and recording, and hopefully we will have at least a push-up montage in the show notes for you guys, and it'll be up on YouTube, so you can at least see a bunch of old men doing push-ups if that's your thing. So Colton was not planning on getting a lot of push-ups in theory, at least. I don't think he really had a baseline besides like one day maybe he like dropped down and did something. He's like, man, 15 was tough, and like called it good. So we're a little worried, but I gave him a bunch of pre-workout. I took a bunch of pre-workout. We got a nice warm-up in. And then he's a competitive guy, and so there was a fair bit of reinforcement on making sure he got some good numbers, and he was able to just blew me away, but he squeezed it out. He really won it for us, honestly. So that was pretty great. Yeah. But I don't know if that's going to happen with pull-ups. Pull-ups are a lot harder to just muscle your way through some reps of pull-ups. Like there's some very hard walls to get past.
Yeah, it should be fun. So
yeah,
we're 2 full weeks in now. What has been the most fun about kind of doing this challenge with a group? Because obviously we do fitness challenge things all the time, but what has made some of this, I guess, more fun than maybe the normal fitness routine that you go through?
So for me, probably the first thing that I liked about it was like steps for me are usually not something I'm after. And generally when you think step challenge, you think walking, because in terms of ratio, and maybe this is not common knowledge to most other people, having done many step challenges with you and other people, like walking is how you get the most steps, like the bang for your buck on them. But for me, it really kicked me back into running some more. So I was getting like 3 or 4 miles every morning at the gym, and then I was walking a bunch. So just on a personal level, that was really good for me, getting some of that mileage going, getting prepared for this week as much as I could in such a short time frame. Uh, but that was really handy. It was also fun because we went to Austin at the end of like the last 2 days of the challenge. I was in Austin with Shalomi, and it was hot. It's hot. It's June, but because of the challenge, not only was I willing, but Shalomi was like willing to support me in this, and we walked a lot more than we probably would have if it wouldn't have been like if I didn't have like a reason to be walking as much. We probably would have Ubered a lot more and stayed inside a lot more, and that kind of thing. But because I was trying to get some extra steps in and trying to make up for Colton having trouble with his schedule that week, I was like going. I was like, hey, it's just a mile away. Let's go ahead and walk that. And she's like, it's like 100 degrees outside. I'm like, it's fine. We'll get ice cream at the end. So, and that's the thing. It's just like, the hike you guys were doing and stuff like that. You don't have as strong of memories. You don't have as strong of an experience when you just do the easiest thing. If we would have just Ubered to like the ice cream museum we went to, and then just Ubered back to the sushi shop after that, and didn't walk the like 6 miles, not cumulatively, but like in total throughout the day between those two events, it wouldn't have probably stuck in our head as much as a trip as it did. So that was pretty cool. I know it doesn't have too much to do with Colton and Brett, but it's also just fun having a little bit more encouragement, having people like counting on you, or we aren't getting to communicate, I don't think, as much as your team is, but that's also because you kidnapped Brett for a week to the mountains, and Colton was gone for a week before that. So our team's communication has not been as strong as it probably should be, but it's still fun. I hadn't gotten to go to the gym with Colton in a while. It was cool. Gave us an excuse to go kind of derp about at the gym, because we were just there to do push-ups. So we just kind of like played around on the bench and did some really light bench press and did a bunch of push-ups, and then kind of just like, well, we can't really just only do push-ups. So we kind of worked out a little bit, which we hadn't gotten to do in a while, and did some more push-ups, hung out at the pool. We'll see how this week goes. So kind of opens those communication channels. Another good thing from it is me stealing one of your teammates. I very rarely, bug Jason about anything because he's, incredibly busy with surgery things. But because we're doing this challenge, I've gotten to have excuses to annoy him more and just talk with him and see how everything's going, and make fun of his push-ups and that kind of thing. So that's been nice too. But
did he share his video with you?
No, he didn't send me the video. I think he was mad that I got so many push-ups. No, I don't think he was mad. I think he just hadn't, I think that was like the last day, wasn't it? That he did his was Saturday, so I haven't really bugged him much since Saturday. It was a busy weekend for me.
Fair.
Busy is not the right word. I was just tired and antisocial and got my push-ups in and was just like, I'm done for the day. So I would throw the same question back to you, so feel free to answer it. But I also want to leave people with something educational if we can. So you hit 63 push-ups. Your mile time is going to be sub 6:30, probably 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Your steps, I think you kind of didn't try as hard as you could have on them, but they were still pretty admirable. And obviously you're going to kill some pull-ups, in the 25 pull-up range from my expected of you. Those are crazy good numbers across the board. What do you think someone could do to train to hit the same numbers you're hitting? Because you and Brett will be clearing the board on most everything compared to the rest of us. So what have you done that you think is different, especially compared to like whenever you and I used to train together and we didn't hit the same numbers? Or, like, what do you have? What is the secret? What do you want to pass on that you've learned from the challenge you might change on your training, anything like that?
Yeah, I think there are a handful of things. So if somebody listening right now is like, I don't know, completely baseline, hasn't started working out at all, hopefully I'll have something for you. If somebody is listening and has been pretty consistent with working out, maybe I've got something for you. So I think that the reason why some of those numbers are going to be high is just because I really haven't stopped doing training or working out since high school. Like since we did track workouts together in JV tennis, and I would throw up like every day because I was in terrible shape and wasn't good at running, but was too competitive to know when to stop. And also, I think I was semi-lactose intolerant, and I ate cereal and milk every morning for breakfast, which plays into another one of my points I'll get to. So that's one thing, is just being really consistent. Maintaining fitness is much, much, much easier than gaining in terms of, muscle, cardio, all those different types of things. And so, yeah, like I've been running, whether it was tennis or whether it was frisbee or basketball or whatever it is, for a really long time. And I really haven't taken a major break, and I haven't had a major injury, which is a huge blessing. So I haven't had something that's like taken me out for extended periods of time. So that's one thing, is just sticking with it. And again, if you're a younger listener, you've got time to do it. If you're an older listener, you might be like, okay, that doesn't necessarily apply. Like I don't have 18 years of time to just chip away at fitness. So I would say another really important aspect is having specific goals. So I know there are plenty of people that like, they just have a goal to be healthy or to be in shape or to, get a certain physique or whatever it is. And I just don't think that goal is specific enough. It's not tangible enough to really be a meaningful goal. So that's where like signing up for a race where you have a target time that you want to hit for a race, or if you're going to the gym and you're lifting weights, download an app, download JFit.
JFit's so good.
Yeah, and actually keep track of your reps and have a goal to, hit a certain bench press weight by the end of the year or something like that. Having specific goals causes you to actually push yourself. It causes you to actually see that you're making progress, or if you're not making progress, to again change up some of your routine. And then if you want to supercharge that, set goals with other people. And that's where these challenges have been really awesome, because we have team goals. Our goals right now is, to max out numbers and beat the other team. And so if I, do my push-ups, or really it was like steps, that was a big one where, we were talking to each other almost every day about what our steps were. And if one of us knocked out a big walk or something like that, we would send a message about it. And like, when you see like, oh man, Jonathan just knocked out like a 3-mile walk. And if I'm, just kind of been sitting there, I was thinking about maybe like playing some video games or something like that. And I see that, I'm like, shoot, like I need to put in the work too. And that's something, we're doing this challenge, which I love, because I haven't had the chance to do some of this like group goal fitness with this entire group. But, playing ultimate frisbee, that's super common in our group me's. Anytime one of the guys does a track workout, you post it to the group me, you send a selfie, and it's a little bit of a way to kind of get a brag. You get the likes, you get that dopamine hit, but it also shows all the rest of the guys like, okay, people are putting in the work. Like I should put in the work as well. So it's really, really motivating to kind of stay in shape. And then the last two things, I guess I have two more things I'll say. Kind of going back to sticking with fitness for a long time, I think just consistency in your routine is important. So again, if you have a goal to hit a bench press or to hit a certain mile time or whatever it is, like get a workout routine, stick with that routine for weeks and months at a time. Like don't reinvent your routine every time you go to the gym. I just think that tends to lead to, I don't know, it's just harder to have consistency with those gains. And so, Andrew, you mentioned that we had worked out before and like wasn't hitting the numbers that I've kind of been able to hit now. And I feel like as much as I've loved our workouts, and I still love our workouts where I come into town and we just kind of hit random stuff, I do feel like we tended to be a little bit more random with our approach versus when Brett and I lift, we do the same lifts generally
Meat and
every
potatoes.
time we're going. Yeah. And
Exactly.
we've been doing that
you're right.
for for like 2 years. And like my bench, like I never thought I'd be able to bench 200 plus pounds. I can do that now. Like I didn't think I was going to be able to squat 300 plus pounds or definitely not deadlift that, but it's just doing those things consistently. And same thing with pull-ups. Do pull-ups after every single workout. So
Well, I
just
ran
do.
into another one of our guests, Austin, the other day, and I mean he's closing in on Brett numbers for his lifts, and that's what he said. He was like, I just, I'm looking at squat, bench, deadlift, and pull ups, and he just hits them, and that's all he hits. And he'll do a little bit of accessory work, but it's just that consistency, that progressive overload, doing your meat potatoes for a long period of time, and just really focusing in and drilling in on it. And it doesn't just make your bench better; it makes you stronger across the board. Your squat going up makes a lot of different things improve, not just that baseline. There's a reason that they're these compound exercises. So it's something I totally suck at because I get bored so quick and I'm like, oh, it's been one day. I'm going to do something new for a new program. Or, it's more likely like 4 or 6 weeks. I'll swap around and I'm just inconsistent. So it's 100% true.
Yeah, totally. And the last thing I would say is that nutrition does matter. So I definitely eat healthier than I've ever eaten in my life. Thank you to Hillary for that. I'm more mindful of the things that I eat. So we just got back from this trip in Montana. I had to eat out a lot, and I would think about like if a meal, if I didn't have vegetables at a meal, like that kind of bothered me. I would sort of seek out getting some vegetables in the next meal, or just like eating carrots or cucumbers or something like that. Um, Adding in creatine as a regular daily intake, multivitamin, and then every day doing a protein shake. So those were some of the things that I needed to kind of get a little bit of that extra mass that I've personally struggled with.
That's good. Diet is very important. As someone who is eating too many bad things on a regular basis, again, you don't have to show me up this bad. I mean, you already blew me out of the water on push-ups. The run's just going to be, this is just hurtful, Daniel. I mean, come on, man.
You
So,
need it.
but I mean, it's something that the rest of our guys are doing too. Colton, he, just a little bit of effort. He really did add probably 10, 15 push-ups to his max in under a week just by working at it for a few days, which it's not going to happen on a lot of stuff, but something like push-ups where you're coming in pretty green on them and you're jumping in to trying to get that number up, you can get, a decent boost pretty quick. Same with running. You might not get down to a 6 minute and 30-second mile very quickly if you're running a 15-minute mile or something, but just by really kind of putting in that effort for a consistent period of time, it really has a pretty noticeable effect pretty quickly. The longer term stuff is a much, like getting past that first little hump, it takes a lot longer, but getting to the first hump is actually not too bad. And I might be saying that wrong, but like the newbie gains are real is another way to put it. So don't be afraid to put some effort in for a little while.
Yeah, totally. You'll see very quick improvements. That's why I've kind of been pushing my team to early in the week, like go ahead and get a mile time down, because I guarantee if you try to hit maybe 3 different runs this week, you'll see improvement each time that you go. Unless you, I don't know, go run one morning when it's 80 degrees and then the other time you run in the afternoon, it's 105 degrees. Like, yeah, that's a little different. But if you're running consistently at the same time, like you will see that improvement. Nothing else, just mentally seeing, okay, I posted, an 8 minute and I didn't die at the end of it. I can push it a little bit. I think I can get a little bit faster. So
No,
hopefully,
100%.
hopefully they'll be able to.
Well, before we close this bad boy out, what's your prediction for the end here? Which team do you think is going to win?
Well, my team, obviously.
That's what I was going to say about my team. So what happens if we're a tie? Have you figured out a little tiebreaker yet?
Oh, I think we got to let the commish do that. I think we got to tap
Okay.
Michael and see what he's got for us.
Man, I'm worried about that. Okay, why do you think your team's going to win? Let's hear your argument.
Well, we use strategery, obviously,
Oh,
with how we picked things. So the the cardio piece, I think you're right in that um it just I don't think any of you boys are cardio boys, and
nah,
Brett's
man.
knee
Our team
Brett's
name was
knee is
almost Team No Nemes.
yeah, Brett's knee and your knee are kind of preventing y'all from running the mile. And I think biking 2.5 is an equivalent, but I still think it's going to be tough because none of us are like crazy, cyclists and have like top of the line gear or anything like that. Don't have like a track that we can go to, so it's either using an indoor cycle, which just is never quite as motivating as a an actual cycle. Like I've never posted a treadmill run that's better than a run on a track. Just the way that it goes. So I think we've got that playing in our favor. Jason, I think, did a lot of running during step week, so I think he'll be solid as our captain. And yeah, I run all the time and never stop there. So we'll see. I could be wrong. And then
Oh,
pull
so you think
ups.
you guys will win the win, which I'm with you. But what about pull-ups?
So pull ups, I think I can at least match Brett. I figured he'd get me on push ups, but I think I'll at least match there. Um, I don't think you're going to have the crazy disparity between whoever is second on my team that you did with the push-ups. Just being honest with you
No,
there.
I will be surprised if I beat out Jason or Jonathan. My pull-up game
Yeah.
is, and dude, we've talked about it before. I've packed on some weight, and on push-ups, it's not as big of a deal. On
Yep.
pull-ups, it has been noticeable.
Oh, it's a huge deal. And Colton
It's
is a strong boy. Like he's thick.
Yeah,
And
so he's going to be
that's
in
a
the
lot to
same
pull up.
boat. Like we're in trouble. I admit there. I'm hoping Jonathan's in the same boat as us.
He's been hitting up every playground in Oklahoma, knocking out reps of, 10 to 15 at a time. So
Shoot, I was going to go to bed after we recorded this. I'm going to go find some pull-up bars. I mean, I don't think your argument is unsound. I really, really, we just did the sports bet challenge. If Vegas was putting odds on us for this, this would be one of those really, 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 really like highly weighted bad ratio bets, saying we'd win. Like this would be a bet I would make on my team in the hope that my dollar bet would turn into $200. Very unlikely that a team no knees, also known as Team Hush, is going to pull out the cardio win. uh, but the pull-ups, I think there's a chance. Colton is competitive, and
for
I know
sure.
he can do a few. Maybe I can snag him for, we've got almost 2 weeks. Maybe we can get him there. Maybe we can get him there. Maybe we can get
I,
me there.
I think some of it's going to come down to like how strict we are with form as well.
We might need to. That'll be something for all of our listeners. We'll try and have some videos for the pull-ups when it comes around at the end for the closeout and the announcement of the next challenge for July. You can be our judge. Let us know if there was any cheating or shenanigans, specifically on Team Thunderclap, not Team Hush. You don't have to look at our videos, but we'll try and post everything and see how well we performed. I know my push-ups, for example, were not exactly the most military clean push-ups I've ever done, but oh well. I'll blame it on the belly. Well, I'm obviously thinking my team's going to win. I'm rolling the dice on a miracle for the pull-ups, but it doesn't have to be a huge miracle. So I'm hoping we at least tie it up because I'm sure we're going to lose this week. And
I wish
then
you
we'll see
luck.
what the commissioner says. Well, all right, guys. Guess that covers it. Keep your eyes peeled to see those results on the Google Sheet if you want. Otherwise, we'll have our next episode at the end of this month, probably around the 4th of July. We seem to have a thing for posting on holidays. So We'll see if that happens again or not. But just keep your eyes peeled, and we'll see if Thunderclap pulls out the win on Daniel's pretty sound theory there, or if I can manage to manufacture a miracle for Team Hush and get us at least a tiebreaker chance at this competition. So, till next time, guys, we look forward to connecting with you soon.